Welcome to the RISKMAN channel, where we provide you, the entry-level GRC IT audit and cybersecurity professional, with easy-to-use tools and techniques you'll need to become successful in this industry. If you like our content, please like and subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments. So let's jump right into today's topic. Let's go! So for today's topic, we're going to talk about the SOC 2 Type 2 report. We're going to talk about what the SOC 2 Type 2 report is, how to evaluate one, and some of the key areas you should focus on when you're evaluating a SOC 2 Type 2 report. So let's dive right in right now.
So what exactly is a SOC 2 Type 2 report? Well, basically what it is, it's a certification that provides assurance that your organization has implemented and maintained industry standard security controls to protect your internal applications and systems as well as customer data. And the area of focus of this report is to ensure that the design and operating effectiveness of your control environment. It assesses compliance within the trust service principle, which is the TSP. You may have heard that. And those areas are security, availability, processing integrity, confidentiality, and privacy. So basically what this report does is it examines an organization's security practices and their security posture for a specific period of time. So you want to make sure that if you have a SOC 2 Type 2 report, whether you're reviewing one from a vendor or your own SOC 2 report, SOC 2 Type 2, you want to make sure that it is always up to date. So that is something that's really key to this whole process. So when you evaluate a SOC 2 Type 2 report, these are the key considerations that you want to take into account. The scope. You want to ensure that the report covers the services or systems relevant to your organization. So you want to make sure that this report addresses things in your service organization that are relevant to the review. The time period, as I mentioned before, you want to verify that, make sure that the report is not stale, make sure it covers the sufficient time frame that it needs to, and make sure that it's not outdated. Qualifications of the auditor, this is something that especially with entry-level GRC IT audit and cybersecurity professionals that they don't take into account. They just take the report at face value, and you shouldn't do that. You should always do some high-level research on the auditor or auditing firm that actually perform the SOC 2 Type 2 report, because if it's not a reputable firm, then the report is only as good as the firm that actually did the report. Also, you want to consider the recommendations and findings. So if there's findings from that report, you want to make sure that you review those to see if they're going to affect your organization. Some of the key questions that you want to ask is, does the report address all 5 trust services principles? And that is the security, availability, processing, integrity, confidentiality, and privacy. That's the TSP. You want to make sure that that report addresses those areas of concern. And then also, as I mentioned, you want to make sure that the controls are relevant to your organization's specific needs. So know what your organization, your control requirements are. So make sure that if you're a new GRC IT audit or cybersecurity professional and you don't have that experience, make sure you look internally. And I want to put the emphasis on internally. Make sure you look internally with some of your experts internally to see if your control requirements are met, and see if the control requirements that the report addresses those control requirements. Are there any signs of significant findings? As I mentioned before, make sure that the findings that are in that report, make sure they're not significant, and even if they're not significant, you want to really review those and make sure they may not affect your organization in any kind of way. So what you want to do is, again, you want to make sure that if you're kind of unsure as an entry-level GRC IT audit and cybersecurity professional, you want to make sure that you consult with some internal experts to make sure that that report addresses what your organization needs. One of the other things is the areas of focus. Let's look at that for this SOC 2 Type 2 report. You want to the security controls, you want to make sure that those are adequate in that report, because that's very important. You want to also make sure that it that it complies with any type of regulations, like HIPAA, if you have HIPAA regulations or PCI regulations that you have to comply with, and also GDPR, anything like that. You want to make sure that that report that you have complies with those regulations. And this goes for if you have a report that you're actually doing, or if you are looking at a report from a vendor. So evidence, you want to also make sure that the quality of evidence that you have, and this is another key point right here, most entry-level GRC, IT audit, and cybersecurity professionals miss this. They just take evidence at face value and they don't really look at it. You need to look at that evidence to make sure the quality of it suffices. So for example, if you have internal evidence that you're providing for your own SOC 2 Type 2 report, make sure that that is actually adequate, because if a third party, like a third party auditor from a Big 4 firm, comes out to review, they're going to ask for that evidence and they're going to really scrutinize it to make sure that it's of quality. Also, the recommendations, as I mentioned before, get help from internal experts. If you need to have things explained to you so you understand them, make sure that you really meet with these internal experts to make sure that they've explained everything to you in a language that you can easily understand, so you can articulate that to management. Any additional tips here? Basically, you request a clarification if you're unsure about anything. As I mentioned, ask internal experts in that. Make sure that you get clarification on everything that you're looking at. Consider any additional factors. At least perform a high-level assessment of the service auditor or the audit entity that actually performed that, because that, again, that report is only as good as the firm that actually did the report. And also consult with your internal experts to make sure everything that your write-ups and everything are valid and they make sense. So for the SOC 2 Type 2 report, those are the things that I think you should focus on. If you guys have any questions, you want to go deeper into this, please leave some comments down there on our channel, and we will address those. But till then, take care.
Remember, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you'll get up to date with all the latest RISKMAN content. Also, pick up my book, Decode, Defend, Disrupt, on Amazon. And remember, you are the star of the story.